Once again, hello everyone. I'm Victor Lund and welcome to today's webinar. We're proud to bring this to you from RE Technology. We're always looking for interesting new technology companies that are adding great value to the real estate industry. And today we have a wonderful guest it's a company called MoveEasy. We have their CEO and Chris Flotten is their VP of real estate. So this is a company that operates in many verticals, real estate being one of their chief verticals. Ven, he kind of put the whole company together, and we have worked with him through some of our clients over on the Wave Group side of our company, and they've deployed Ven's product very successfully. And Chris joined them recently after spending time at Market Leader to help really fulfill the goal of this platform. So let's dive in and learn a little bit about what MoveEasy is and how it operates. We'll get a quick demo, and then we'll answer your questions and move on from there. So one of the reasons why we get so excited about what MoveEasy is doing is that they spend a lot of time helping brokerages develop an area of their consumer website and the service that they provide to consumers, which is often language. So if you've been around real estate a long time, just about every broker or agent website had a little button, it had a resources tab that was in the primary navigation. You click that resources tab, and at best, it was a list of company names. Maybe they would have some links or maybe short descriptions, but it fell short of anything that you would get even beyond the yellow pages. So Ven and his team, along with some of his competitors, reimagined what that space could be. And they came up with a business model that is really supporting brokerages in an important way. It's that when you start to look at developing a customer for life strategy that keeps you in touch with your customers throughout the life cycle, not only the buying and selling life cycle, but the home ownership life cycle, you need a system that is really going to propel you forward. We know that brokerage companies see more and more narrow margins. There are a lot of brokerage companies out there that are 100% commission brokerages. So they need to be able to create some revenue on the back end, and that's one of the things that MoveEasy does. So one of the astounding realities in real estate that I'm always shocked when I read, it's based upon some data that comes from the National Association of Realtors, is that more than 90% of consumers would indicate that they would use their agent or broker in a future transaction, but only 1 in 5 do. And the number one reason for that is because the real estate agent or broker didn't stay in touch. It's kind of a tragedy. And I asked the MoveEasy people, like, how does real estate compare to other industries that you serve? And surprisingly enough, most companies, brands that you know, whether it be Nike, Nordstrom's, Marriott, or whomever, is spending about 90% of their marketing dollars staying in touch with past customers. And you know about all these affiliate programs. I'm sure that if you travel, you have some kind of rewards program that you're using, but you can understand that customer retention is a really key part of the way that these companies operate. But in real estate, it's flopped. In real estate, we spend about 20% of our money focusing on our past customers and 80% of our money on new customers. So one of the things that MoveEasy intends to do is kind of help brokers stay in touch with that customer for the life. We'll go on to the next screen. So in order to do this, they've created a system that's really about affiliate marketing. So I like to think of this as non-transaction revenue. It's all of the things that a brokerage can offer in terms of a service to the consumer that has really little to do with a core service offering like helping them with mortgage, title, home services, or home warranty. This is more along the lines of, as you can tell from the name of the company, how do I get you to move, or can I help you move? Let's send a truck to your house and box everything out. Do you need everything cleaned? Do you want us to hook up your utilities and all of those other things? Now, the really neat thing about that is many of the companies that provide those services in the marketplace are companies that pay pretty handsomely to companies like MoveEasy in order to get that connection going with the consumer during a transition. And we're going to just jump forward to the next slide here. So one of the things that they've done is they've developed systems for the brokerage that allows you to maintain that relationship using a lot of the common communication processes that are deployed in businesses throughout the real estate industry today. So, you're going to see a lot of email marketing. You're going to see vendor apps. You're going to see concierge companies. And one of the things that is kind of a problem with each of them is that if you're a brokerage and you're trying to communicate every vendor relationship that you have to your customer, you're going to wind up sending them stuff every day. The window cleaner guy wants his email blast sent out. The landscape guy wants his, and the plumber wants hers. So, all of these things can sort of inundate the consumer and very quickly get them to turn it off. But one of the things that MoveEasy has done is said, how do we consolidate this and make it easy for a brokerage to deploy, to provide information to their customer on a regular basis, but to give them the awareness and education that all these resources are available. And not only national resources, which is sort of the area that MoveEasy spends the most amount of time cultivating on behalf of the brokerage, but also local resources. So companies that have 5 or 6 plumbers, and if you're a large firm and you have 25, or I was reading about Royal LePage today up in Canada, they have 600 offices. Well, they're going to need to have vendors specific to those different areas where they operate. So there's local service providers that can help customers with home ownership services throughout the lifetime of owning a home. There we go. So this is effectively a layout of, whoops, go back to the, yeah. Ven, do you want to just explain this slide? This is sort of a layout that overall encompasses everything that you guys are doing. And it's probably a nice kicking off point to learn a little bit more about what you guys are doing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that introduction. I'll skip just one slide back just to kind of add to Victor's point. I think, the industry as a whole, first of all, thank you so much, guys, for taking the time and then listening to us. As you all know, the industry as a whole has understood the aspect of that lower margins and that the importance that retaining a customer for life does. But I think one of the biggest problems that we are solving is that lack of fractured experience. So right now, what's happening is, a lot of our clients, they have their own mortgage company, they have all of these affiliated marketing services, and or they're partnering with different companies that are in the marketplace today to be able to complete all of these services. The issue comes up is now as a brokerage, where your primary responsibility is in the real estate space, but now you have to manage all of these other vendors. There's personnel costs, there's that user experience that is just not as seamless as it should be. And then as to what Victor mentioned, the worst part about all of this is now you have 15, 20 different vendors all essentially reaching out to that client. And as a result, that client is actually getting a really, really bad experience. And unfortunately, whether you like it or not, that experience is going to reflect on you. This is something that, Kevin from Victor's team had mentioned this right up front. It's like, hey, you can give 5-star service throughout that transaction. But that transition point from that transaction to the move, the moment you get a 1-star service, that is the last thing that people are going to remember. And so what we are doing is kind of solving 3 of these problems. So one is obviously from the standpoint of we understand that you as a brokerage have a lot more to do. And so rather than you figuring out what the infrastructure is going to be, what the personnel is going to be, how do we manage all of these things, we've created that entire infrastructure for you. We've created that entire delivery vehicle, so to speak, for you, where you can add all of your core services, your mortgage, your title, home warranty, whatever it might be. Maybe you have a lot of local vendors, local cleaners, painters. You can add all of those guys, and we'll overlay our core service, which starts off from insurance, internet, cable, TV, moving, utilities, home security, you name it, and give your clients, your customers, your homeowners, a seamless single user experience. all completely white label for you. This is a turnkey concierge service, so it has your branding written all over. And we understand that in today's time, just having an online platform or just having an email presence is not going to be enough. So we've taken it a step further. Think of this as surround sound, right? And imagine if you're using surround sound, regardless of which part of the room you're in, you're going to hear the music, right? Now imagine the same thing about consumer engagement. Regardless of which channel your clients are using, you're going to be in front of them. So we've actually gone ahead. Our platform essentially gives an online platform with completely branded emails. Every client of yours gets a dedicated concierge. And this is not just me saying, just big words in terms of, hey, it's a dedicated concierge, but it's going to go to a big kind of a call center of this. This is truly a dedicated one-to-one relationship concierge. So each of your client, let's say, for example, if I'm assigning Mike as your concierge today, Mike is going to be your concierge today, 6 weeks from now, 6 months from now, 6 years from now. It's going to be a completely one-to-one relationship. There's obviously going to be, Alexa and Google Home, something that a lot of people nowadays have started picking up for certain services. And then you have the mobile apps, both in Android as well as Apple. The best part about this is each of these things are completely branded for you, to the extent that you won't even see MoveEasy's branding anywhere. Some of our clients want even more branding, to the point that even our domains shouldn't have MoveEasy name, and we have the ability to do that. That's the level of white labeling. All of this is available to you at no cost, so you don't have to worry about putting together a team or setting up a mobile app or all of those things. That's available for you from day one. But the best part about this is truly about that lifetime engagement. And this is what we've learned through our about 6 years in the relocation space. What we've understood that not everyone uses the same channel for the same or the different set of services. And so we are able to help them throughout that entire stressful period of the move with the online platform, the dedicated concierge, but then kind of transition them over to the app, the voice services, as well as emails, to help them connect with your preferred vendors, to give them timely reminders like, hey, now's a good time for you to change your filter or service your HVAC unit. But while doing all of this, keeping you top of mind, giving you very relevant ways of staying in touch with that customer. It's great that you're giving them the CMA, but at some point of time, you have to add some more value. And this is where if you can actually truly empathize with that customer and say, hey, you know what? You've been in your home for about 6 months. Now's really a good time for you to change your air filter. And you don't have to do that as well. It was all automated, but all coming for you from your app with your branding. Now, we understand that real estate in general is extremely tech savvy, which also means that you use a lot of technology. The last thing that we want to do is give you this entire infrastructure and then have you go through another technology training across the board to understand how to log in, how to operate. So we've made it extremely, extremely easy for both the brokers, the agents, as well as the customers to be completely technology free while being a technology company. And by that, what I mean is we've actually gone ahead and integrated with every single CRM, transaction platform, single sign-on company, website company. And so the experience for you when you engage with us as a broker, we'll automatically onboard your agents. You don't have to send us your rosters every time, like, hey, excuse me, this person joined or that person left. Our system will automatically do that. From a single sign-on standpoint, if you're using some kind of a homegrown system or a single dashboard, your agents don't have to worry about remembering their passwords and all those things to get into their MoveEasy platform. We've integrated with every single transaction management system. And so as a result, your client onboarding is extremely seamless. The moment your transaction goes into contract, automatically we are able to connect with your client. But more importantly, we are able to send client activity data back into your CRMs. Imagine this, you've spent a lot of money within your CRM platform, within your for your transaction management platform, and there isn't enough utilization. Well, that's again money that you're burning. We're able to give you data back in terms of what's working, what's not working, who's using it, what are the mistransactions like, why are they not, why isn't there good data, and where isn't there good data. We're able to give you all of that information back so that you can utilize your existing services even better. And then obviously we do website integrations in case someone wants to do marketing on their setup. The entire service is also completely customizable. So a lot of our clients, we work with some of the biggest names in the space. They have their own mortgage company, they have their own title company. Chris will show you in just a second, we can actually create custom pages for you guys. As far as vendors are concerned, as what Victor was saying, if you have a brokerage that has 600 locations and every location will have a different set of vendors, we have the ability to do that. You don't have to worry about managing it on your website. We'll actually give you a platform where you're able to add all of the vendors by office, and you can control at the brokerage level. You can say, hey, these are the categories that we do want when like our vendors, and no one else can change it. But oh, by the way, these other categories, I would love for my agent to add their own vendors, and they can do that. And all of this at no cost. Like the vendors don't pay us either. It's your network. We're just giving you the delivery vehicle to be able to get that network in front of your clients. And the best part about this is that once you add your vendors in one place, they immediately appear across all of these channels. So you just enter it once, and almost instantly, it'll appear on the online platform, it'll appear on the mobile app. That kind of seamlessness is what today's clients are asking for, and we are able to give you that. Before I hand it over to Chris, and then I'll be playing a very quick video, but we have been around. We've been around for a while. We work with all the big brokerages. We work with Berkshire Hathaway and Century 21 at the enterprise level. And the reason you may not have heard of us is primarily that we are a completely white labeled company, which means that you're most likely going to hear Fox and Roach Forever Concierge, a Hunt Concierge, a Windermere, a My Windermere platform, but it's all basically powered by us in the back end. So with that, what I'm going to do is share a very quick video with you that gives you guys a quick 1-minute overview of the entire service. And then Chris will jump in for the details. And then he'll show you the online platform. And then I'll jump back in to show you some of the mobile app features. And then we'll open it up for questions. So this is obviously Berkshire Hathaway, Fox and Roach. I'm going to play their video just so you have an idea of the kind of customization and services that we do.
Introducing Fox and Roach Forever Concierge, a concierge for life service that helps you manage all your moving and home management needs in one place. Your Fox and Roach Forever Concierge access begins the day your house goes under contract via a personal invite from your BHHS Fox and Roach agent. Complete all moving tasks with your online dashboard, including services from the Trident family, such as mortgage, home insurance and title, home warranty, finding moving companies, filing your change of address without going to the post office, as well as keeping a track of your move with the help of a week-by-week interactive moving checklist. You can even use your concierge on your Amazon Echo or your Google Home device. Alexa, launch Fox and Roach Forever Concierge.
Hi, Jess. Welcome to your Fox and Roach Forever Concierge. How can I help you?
Help me find a painter.
Your Fox and Roach Forever Concierge has found 2 painter your agent Jane Smith recommends. Would you like me to have them call you?
Yes. Prefer talking to a live human? Your Fox and Roach Forever Concierge comes with a dedicated concierge that can help you with your move and home management, including saving you time and money by setting up your utilities, as well as walking you through all of your internet, TV, home security options, and scheduling. Your service doesn't end with your move. Need a cleaner after you move or planning your kitchen remodel in 6 months? Simply call your concierge, access it online, through your voice-activated devices, or through your Fox and Roach Forever app from the Apple or Google Store. Fox and Roach Forever Concierge, your personal move and home management assistant for life.
You know, Ven, I recall the launch with Fox and Roach, and it was really impressive the way that you guys interfaced with their company and to deploy that. And you know, when I recently sent my daughter off to college, she's going to school in Syracuse. I live in California. I had to go to New York and spend 2 weeks there. I was fortunate. My mother-in-law has a home there, but she's 88 years old and she's staying with us right now, just getting some medical stuff done, and she can't travel because of COVID. But my daughter and I showed up at the house to do our 2-week quarantine, and the house was a mess. I mean, it was dusty, it was dirty. There was a leaky shower. Just a ton of work that had to be done. And Hunt Real Estate was actually the company that we did our real estate transaction with. So I called the founder of that company, or not the founder, but the current president, which is Charlie Hunt. And I said, hey, Charlie, I need help, man. I need a landscaper out here. I need a painter out here. I need a plumber, and I need some people to come and deep clean this house. It's a mess. I can't stay here like this for 2 weeks. This is in the middle of COVID in New York. So it was a very, very, very anxious type of experience for me. And his answer was, sure, no problem. And he texted me the link to the app. And I downloaded the app. I went on it. I arranged all the services within like 15 or 20 minutes, and literally people started showing up that day. So I don't know much more of a testimonial that I can give for the services other than those. But you know, it does take a lot of work. I can tell you that in the case of Fox and Roach and Hunt, companies that we've worked with directly on the launch of this program, they put a lot of effort into supporting your team and making sure that the local vendors were a part of your system. And so that is the one little caveat. I know that you guys do all the work. They just have to give you the contact information, but still, you guys followed through and it made a difference in my life. So, you know, thanks very much for that.
Thanks a lot. Chris, all yours.
Perfect. Can everybody see my screen? You can. Perfect. So I wanted to kind of touch on some pieces. Anything that I'm going to show you right now, you're going to be able to do. Your client, if they don't want to do it online, they can definitely do it through their personal concierge, but just obviously easy to show things online. So as Venkatesh was talking about, we plug in to your systems, your transaction management system, your CRM system, and this is designed for you know, multiple things, but one thing's automation. You know, agents today, they've got a lot on their plate. You know, they're pitched 15 million ideas a day, other things get put on their plate. We don't want to put another thing on their plate. We want to automate this process for the agents. So that's what we've done with MoveEasy and your guys' concierge platform. So your agent really doesn't have to do anything. What ends up happening is there's a trigger, and that could be a listing going live, a transaction going into pending status, a lead generated, etc. And when that trigger happens, an email is going to go out to the agent, basically congratulating them on whatever that trigger was. So that transaction with Chris. And at this point, the agent really doesn't have to do anything. The only thing we ask them to do is definitely tell their client, look out for an invite from me about access to this suite of tools. If in case maybe the agent sold a piece of land or an investment property, or just for some reason doesn't want the invite to go out, there is a disable button on that email. So they have 48 hours to disable that automated invitation to the client. 99.999% of the time, that the automation kicks in. You know, people want the automation to go. So what ends up happening there is 48 hours after this initial email, an email is going to go out to the client that looks very similar to this. Now, this is fully customizable. At the brokerage level, you can change the messaging, you can change the logo, the branding, etc., to match what fits yours. But in essence, you know, along the lines of, hey, we're excited to have you as a client. We know moving's stressful. Here's what we've done. We've given you access to this whole suite of tools that helps you do X, Y, and Z. Oh, and by the way, you now have your very own personal assistant, human concierge that you can call or text whenever you want, not only now, but for the rest of your life. And the best part is it costs you nothing. So from there, what ends up happening is the client just goes through a quick kind of verification process to make sure everything matches up with their move. So it'll bring them to the page that brands you guys, show them where they're moving from, where they're moving to. And if the brokerage level, if you don't have a small piece of information here, that's fine. The client can fill it out. From here, as you saw in the video, they're going to go through and they're going to kind of pick the services that match what their move is going to be. So what do they need throughout their move? Every client obviously is going to be different. Are they bringing children, pets, maybe a newborn? Maybe they're moving from Hawaii and they need to ship their vehicle. And once I've done that, it's going to log them into their platform. And when they get logged into the platform, this is what it's going to look like. Now, for your brokerage, it'll be whatever color scheme you want it to be. It'll match your branding and be all your branding. But you'll notice it quickly says hello to the client, shows them where they're moving to, the date they're moving on. This is important. This is interchangeable. We all know in real estate, things never happen on the day they're supposed to. So we want to make sure that their move is in conjunction with what's happening, with the date, when it's actually going to transact, when escrow gets finalized, etc. So they can interchange that date. And then up top, you're going to see a bunch of tabs here. Now, these tabs are fully customizable to fit your business. We can suppress tabs, we can add tabs. And what these are designed to do is, for example, mortgage. Highlight your company-owned services or partners that you're with. This is fully customizable, the logos, the messaging, and this is your world. Whatever relationships you have with them, it's completely free to put them on the platform. We don't take any revenue from it. This is literally your world. It's almost like an advertising platform for free. If you wanted to add other tabs for, let's say, home warranty, insurance, title, whatever the case may be, we can add those tabs in this lineup as well. In addition to that, you've got trusted pros. Now, this is where a lot of people get excited because, as Victor was explaining earlier, you've got all these different vendors that you work with, but in a traditional sense on your website, there's a button that may have a list. With this is a full-blown directory of pretty much any service you can think of at home services. And if there's a category that you have that we don't on the out of the box solution, we can add those categories into it. But here's the beauty behind it. This is customizable not only at the brokerage level, but all the way down to the agent level. So this is an area where you can put all the different vendors you work with, again, free of charge. We're not going to take any revenue. We're not going to interfere with the marketing relationships you have current with those vendors. But there's going to be certain categories maybe you want to block out. Maybe you only want the agents to use XYZ mortgage company, XYZ insurance company, XYZ title company. So you've locked those particular categories out. But then in turn, you can open up the other categories to allow the agents to put their own vendors in this. So for example, if I'm an agent and I'm a home inspector I like to work with, and my brokerage allows me to, I can go in, put my own home inspector in the directory, and it only shows up to my clients, not every other agent's clients. So it's fully customizable down to the agent level. Now, the question always comes up, well, we don't have this category, we don't have a vendor in this category. That's fine too. What we'll do at MoveEasy, we can backfill the categories that you may not have a vendor. We have access to all of Home Advisor and Angie's List. And what we'll go is we've got a certain criteria they have to match, a certain amount of reviews and stars and ratings. And what we'll do is we'll put them on the platform for you. Once we put them on the platform, we then monitor them very closely to make sure they're giving good service, because if there's any bad service, funny business going on, we don't want them on the platform, because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters to us is your client's experience. What do they experience with your brand? Now, these are areas that are completely free, open to you guys. You can monetize them, use them as an advertising platform, however you want to utilize them. Now, these other areas that you see here, moving, update of address, etc., this is where we kind of go in and we assist the customer on multiple aspects. So the first one's going to be moving. We're going to display 3 movers for the client, and the brokerages are always asking me, if this is a revenue stream for you guys, being that it's a free service to you, if this is a revenue stream for you guys, what are you doing? Are you selling our information? Are you doing lead generation? And the answer to that is we are not. Actually, your client data is completely confidential to you guys. We don't do anything with it. We're not allowed to sell it. We're not allowed to give it away. As a matter of fact, whatever the client's doing, so any time any data goes from your concierge platform to any sort of vendor, it's client initiated. So here's an example. Let's say I'm the client. I want to get a quote from All American Moving in black tie. I, the client, am checking the boxes. I'm hitting schedule appointment. I'm picking my time, and then I am submitting my information to the business. No one else is doing it. Now, if they're using their personal concierge, they're not doing it online, they're over the phone, the concierge team has to get a physical, yes, I would like All American and black tie to move, to reach out to me in order to give me a quote. So it's all permission based. We don't do anything with your guys' data. If they need a storage facility based off their zip code, we're going to pull up everything that's available in their area. And when they get to this area, they can click details, see what the hours are, where they can access it, the amenities, the size, the price, and they don't have to go anywhere else. If they want that unit, they hit select and they can reserve it straight from the platform. Again, all under one roof, so they don't have to go to multiple sites or make multiple phone calls. If they're in that situation where they need to ship their vehicle, they just come in here, they plug their make, their model, and their year in, and we help them ship their vehicle. Updating of address, this small little task could be a pain in the butt sometimes. Right now, I think in your guys' world, your client has to go to USPS.com, fill out their information, pull out their credit card, and pay anywhere from $1 to $1.50. But with us, they don't have to. It's completely free. They can do their individual, they can do a family. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna make the transfer of address 15 days prior to the move. That way it's in conjunction with the move. But in the case something happens, something goes south in that 15 days, your client doesn't even have to call into USPS and wait on hold for half a day just to get through to someone. They can just simply call or text a personal concierge, and we'll handle whatever the change needs to be. Utilities. A lot of people know they pay a bill. They may not know the company they pay it to. So what we're going to do is we're going to show them, here's your current company, here's your future company, here's links to the website, phone numbers, etc. And then we take it one step further, and we'll actually do the switch of utilities over for them. Now, in those rare cases where it's a utility company that does not allow us to do the change for them, no need to worry. The personal concierge will help them through that process as much as possible, just to make sure it's an easy transition. One thing we don't do is we do not turn utilities off, but again, the personal concierge will help that client up to the point to where they know and know how and can turn the utilities off on their own, so there's no surprise bills in the future from their previous property. I think my favorite area in all of this, because we're solving a pretty big frustration, is going to be the internet and cable portion of this. When people move to a new area, or even if they're moving within the same area, they've got to change their internet over, their cable over, etc. And just due to the nature of the beast, the internet and cable industry, when you call in, it's very high pressured. Their sales guys are incentivized to sell you everything under the sun, regardless if you want it or not. It's just unfortunate. So what we've done is we've become authorized dealers for every single internet and cable company across the nation to alleviate that pressure, to alleviate that stress from the consumer. So what that means to your consumers, they can simply go on, select what they need to do, select what areas they need to do it in, how many people are in the home, what types of things they like, do they need a home phone, and then it pulls up everything that's available in their area. No pressure, no sales tactics, etc. They can choose what they want. There's information on their personal concierge, so they can call in and have it done over the phone. We don't incentivize our team to go and just jam everything down the throat. We incentivize our team to help the client, so there's no pressure. In addition to that, being that we're authorized dealers for every single company, let's say someone wants to use DirecTV for their TV and AT&T for their internet. We can mix and match. Or maybe they wanted to cancel Xfinity and go to Frontier. They now don't have to call into Xfinity and go through a retention process. Their personal concierge with a simple text message or call can do that switch for them. Also, in addition to that, being that this is a lifetime service, we can then go back to your clients a year or 2 years later and do an analysis. Maybe they qualify for new customer pricing. Maybe we can get them into a better package that fits their needs, etc. So there's a lot of different things we can do within this arena to give a higher level of service to the customer with no pressure. We also do the same thing with home security. If they need a home security system, we're authorized dealers, and we'll be able to do the order from start to finish, get them what they need without the pressure that they're used to when they call into these companies previously. Their driver's license information, we are not the DMV, thank God, but there's nothing worse than someone moving to a new area, going to the DMV, taking the ticket, sitting in the chair for 3 hours. Then they finally get to the booth, and the booth says, you didn't bring this, you gotta pay this, etc. Come back when you have it. So we're gonna give them a link to their DMV, what they need to bring with them, what it's gonna cost, anything they need to download. That way, when they do go in and get to the booth, it's an easy transition. And then the last piece I want to show you guys, which it's so simple yet so impactful to the client, is this all tasks button over here. This is literally a step-by-step checklist on things that they should do throughout their move by date. And this is fully customizable at the brokerage level, at the agent level, so you guys can customize this based off your client's needs. There's help articles attached to each task if the client doesn't know how to do it. They can filter, and they can also add their own tasks. So, that stressful hecticness of moving and having things scattered everywhere, it's all lined up in one place, easy to use for everybody in one platform, whether it be online, through an app, through their personal concierge, etc. So that's basically what the client journey is, what they go through, and what they'll be able to do within the branded to your brokerage system. Back over to you, Ven.
Excellent work, Chris. Good job.
Michael, can you give me the screen share, I think, if you don't mind? Awesome. Awesome. I want to just add a couple of things before I jump over to the app. So this is where some of the customizations and other things come into play. So if you remember early on, we said that we do heavy white labeling. So you know, if your clients basically do not, if any brokerage does not want our branding, MoveEasy's branding anywhere, then that can be taken off the powered by MoveEasy message. This is a good example again for Fox and Roach, for example. I mean, we even in the domain, our name doesn't exist. That's a level of customization that we can do. The other thing, and this is one thing that, you know, a lot of companies forget having one single platform, is the power of analytics. You know, you mentioned, Victor, you mentioned Hunt. Like Hunt utilizes this amazingly. It's not just a question of you being able to add all of your vendors, but then to see how are the vendors doing? Are the customers actually using them? What categories are getting the most amount of impressions? Sometimes you just surprise me. You would think that, hey, in my area, this actually happened to us early on in Arizona, this particular broker, I mean, we started getting a lot of requests for pool cleaners. And not something that I would have thought the first point is like, you know, why would they need so many pool cleaners? But then again, hey, the weather is such that you have a lot of pools and you need a lot of pool cleaners. But we were able to show them based on these impressions, like, hey, it seems a lot of people asking for pool cleaners. You do not have a pool cleaner in your network of vendors. And I think that kind of information is extremely, extremely powerful.
Yeah, a lot of brokers do, you know, they have relationships with companies, they're referral relationships, and they do get money back from these vendors to be present. I think, you know, in my experience, the biggest difference for me as a customer was when I told the vendor that I was contacting them from Hunt Real Estate, they were immediately responsive. This is a company that sells 10,000 or more houses a year. I mean, if you're in their vendor environment, you're getting a lot of business, and that really is a difference maker, you know, especially for companies that are really good and really busy.
Yeah. No, I mean, they are a VIP client for that company, which effectively makes the client, the end consumer, a VIP client as well. Last thing I want to show you before I show the online platform is whatever Chris showed you, that was obviously the online component of it. But because we have a dedicated concierge team, everything that you saw on the platform and more can be done by the live concierge. Some people just don't want to log into a platform. They want to basically just talk to someone, to set up a time, just like, hey, I just want to go direct to one person. Totally possible. In fact, we've gone a step further on the agent and the brokerage end to give you guys access to those concierges. We'll let you know exactly who your client's concierge is. In one click, if you want to reach out to them, like let's say they haven't gotten in touch already, they will do that proactively. But let's say the concierge hasn't gotten in touch proactively and you know it's an urgent need, just go into your backend platform, let the client, let us know, and immediately we are able to get in touch with the concierge and have them call. But that's essentially the high-level concierge component of it. Now, this is where it transitions into the post-move cycle, and this is where the app comes into play. And the app as a whole has two parts. So again, the app is also branded for you. It's available both on Apple and Google Play. But when your agents log into the app, this is the interface where they are able to basically see their vendors. They can add your vendors as well. In case it's your vendor, it'll be like your brokerage preferred or whatever it might be. But you can very easily add vendors here as well. So as an agent, if you opened up this particular category to them, then they can very easily add the vendor, and within this minute, add the vendor here, and all the other channels that I mentioned earlier, it's available there. Your clients can share this information. You can use it as an agent. Your agents can use it for their own use. It doesn't always have to be from a client's perspective. The other big feature that I'd like to share from an agent's perspective is broadcasting. And this is very important because Imagine this, that where you're able to broadcast as an agent, you're able to broadcast important messages, right? Like, let's say you go to a new restaurant that's opened up near your home, and you just take a picture of that and share it with all of your clients. And you can do that. You can do that with that. You can do that with, maybe it's a test message that you want to share, whatever it might be. You can send it to all of your users, but you can also send it not only to your current buyers, but your past clients as well. That's one huge thing. The app is kind of disconnected to the move. So you don't have to be a new customer, a mover, to be able to use the app. You can tap into your existing sphere, your brother's friend, father-in-law, your past clients that you've helped probably 3 years ago. You can send all of those guys the app and within seconds kind of connect with them. Yeah.
I just have a quick question, Ben. So like if my brokerage is, like say I use MoxieWorks and their suite of services,
Yep.
if you could just go back to the screen you were looking at before. So within the CRM, is it gonna look at the MoxieWorks CRM and then put all of my customers into these categories, or do I have to painstakingly go through and put every one of my customers into a category?
So if it is in MoxieWorks, if you've identified them as a certain group of customers, right? Maybe prospects, maybe buyers, sellers, however you want to group them, we can pull that information from there. If you're using ACE, there's a different grouping system, but we've customized all of that. And should you not want all of those things, you could basically go to My Clients from your backend admin platform, invite past clients, and here you can either invite one by one, or you could simply upload a CSV if you want, and we'll do that for you. So it doesn't have to be in a very painstaking manner. But again, there are some messages that you want to share only with one particular client. You can definitely use the custom approach and accordingly do that. But this is a huge thing. We'll actually give you timely reminders at times, like, hey, this is tax season. You might want to send this message. So rather than the message coming from us, from MoveEasy, imagine if it's coming from the agent. That's a lot more personalized. But we'll make it that much easier for the agent. All they have to do is just update the message or whatever and hit send, and it's gone. But again, as far as this is the agent's view, right? So now as a client, what I'm seeing is a slightly different approach, but again, equally powerful. So here, I'm going to now see, all of your vendors, same thing, but I can even share these vendors with anyone. And the best part about this is your branding goes along with that. So let's say your client's friend asks for a cleaner, and they're immediately sharing this link with also going ahead and sharing your agent's link, and in that respect, your brokerage's link. Should you select a particular vendor if you want, any of your current projects, your past projects, you've used a cleaner 3 years ago, you love that cleaner and you want to use that person again, you simply go to the past projects section here and then just find that information, and we are able to help you out. We'll send you automated notifications as well. So not just random reminders, but this is where, hey, now's a good time for you to clean your gutters and all those things. That information is going to come up, and then your agent's information, like any messages that they have sent, not only will you get that, you can actually interact with that agent. You can reply to that agent. And imagine now your agent having that conversation outside the typical, hey, are you buying? Are you selling a home? No, I'm just building relationship. That's it, nothing else. Last but not the least, your agent's information is always available at their fingertips. Again, same question. Your client's friend asks, like, hey, which agent is providing all of these great services to you? Pull it up, share that information, done. That's the power of utilizing your sphere, utilizing your past clients, and everything being in one platform, everything synced up to your CRM. So you at the brokerage level don't have to worry about, okay, how do I manage all of these guys? No, it's just one single service where you're doing that. Oh, sorry. But that's basically, that brings me to the conclusion of the overall demo. I'd love to open it up to any questions.
Yeah, I do. So I've been recording the questions. I do want to remind people that if you go into the questions dialog box, you can enter your questions, and I'll have an appropriate person answer that. So there's a question of, can I add vendors by office? Also, can my agent add their group of vendors? I think you answered that, Chris.
Yes, you can.
The answer is absolutely.
Point, Victor. So not only can we add the vendors by office, we also have the ability to show vendors by county. Some vendors, even within the same office, might just provide services in a very specific county. You can customize it to that level.
So one person who had a bad experience with Zillow said, Do these vendors have to pay MoveEasy anything? Is it free? How do you make money? What's the catch? And do you take my client's information and sell it to other people?
It's a lot of questions. Good questions.
People are conspicuous. How can you provide a service that's this good for free? Especially with real concierge. I mean, I know there's a lot of companies out there that sort of do something similar to yours, but they don't actually have the operators that are committed to each customer and fulfilling whatever need that they have. So yeah, I mean, it's
no,
a healthy question.
yeah, and I totally understand where the person's coming from. So, to answer those questions in that order, yes, absolutely, agents can add their vendors. At the brokerage level, you can even add disclaimers so as to protect you from the liability. No, neither the agent's vendors nor your vendors pay us anything. These are your relationships. What all we've done is created that delivery vehicle to get your relationships in front of your clients. How do we make money? So this is one of the biggest reasons why we are able to separate out from everyone in the pack, right? So we are, what Chris mentioned, we are authorized dealers. What that means is, imagine an Xfinity store down the road for you, or an AT&T store, and you're going there and you're getting your phone and you're getting your internet and cable set up. Was the same experience, except that we are national dealers. And so we have a relationship with the corporate directly. We have access to their billing system, their scheduling system. Our team is the one that's actually completing all of these. But because we are directly working with this, there is absolutely no middleman involved. And the fact that we are working with every single company across the country, we are able to get a pretty big commission. And we actually share a portion of that commission back to you. So it's not just a question of
us. Give me an example of that then. So like say I use you to connect to Charter Cable. Like how much do you guys get for a cable hookup, and how much does the broker get?
It varies. So I would struggle to give a very specific number because, and then not giving the consulting it depends answer. But the reason it varies is because, Xfinity territory, they might pay a certain amount, and AT&T might pay a certain other amount, depending on if your client's purchasing like internet or internet and cable. We do home security as well. Home security typically pays out pretty big amounts. But across the board, what I can tell you is that anyone else in this space, absolutely anyone's, something that we can, put our word to it, that we basically pay more than anyone else because we get paid almost about 40 to 50% more than any other company out there, primarily because of those direct relationships. And so by default, you're getting a lot of that. And that's where the, one of the big differentiation is not just the breadth of relationships, but it's also that depth of relationships. We are the top dealers in a lot of categories. And so ADT is a good example. ADT, if you were to go online or even with Valpak and a whole bunch of places, you'll get these coupons. And those coupons will have like, hey, you know what? And even some of our competitors will say the same thing. Like, we'll give you $800 worth of free equipment. We have the ability to give as much as $2,000 worth of free equipment to your client. Why? Because of the relationship, because of the stage where we are with ADT. Do the exact same thing or similar things with Vivint or SimpliSafe or even AT&T. We can combine a spectrum within AT&T and give your clients a better value, and in return give you a better value. But now, let's say 3 years down the road or 2 years down the road, we create that value again. Well, automatically you're getting a share back of that value. So it's not just that one-time revenue, it's how we are able to engage that client throughout that time frame and continue generating value for you at the brokerage level. The last question that you had asked, Victor, there was about security. So to give you just a very quick, like, I'll obviously give the high level, entrepreneur CEO answer of your client is secure and we don't do anything with that. But why take our word for it, right? When we became part of, when we were basically told to build Berkshire Hathaway's concierge platform or working with HSOA companies, Home Services of America has by far one of the most strictest security audit process. We had to go through that entire audit process, give them a ton of documentation, go through that for us to be able to do anything with any of their companies. We've already gone ahead and done that. And so this is something that as a third party has has kind of looked at what we are doing and said, yes, you know what, this is something that is fairly secure. And it's not just them. We've had to do the same thing. Getting an AT&T dealership directly does not make sense. We have to go through. We've gone through a security audit for them. We've gone through a security audit for state auto insurance. Like there's a ton of audits that we've gone through to ensure that your client's data is absolutely secure.
Next question, do you support multiple languages? This person has customers who speak 4 languages.
Not 4 at this point of time. We do have some services where we can use it in a slightly different manner for a couple of languages. Definitely 2 languages, standard English and Spanish, but then for other languages, we basically handle it on a case-by-case basis.
Do you have multilingual concierge people?
We used to have one multilingual concierge, but we moved to a new system where, depending on the client's needs, we can actually get multiple multilingual concierges. And so as a result, your clients don't have to worry about that.
Interesting. Well, that's great. It's nice to hear your flexibility with that. Next question, do agreements with vendors prevent them from reselling the customer data?
Yes. So that is part of all of our agreements with those vendors, that the only service that they can provide is the service for which they were contracted for. So if it's a moving company, that's all they can do. They cannot further send it out anywhere else. If any such violation is detected, that vendor agreement is canceled almost immediately.
And that's a great example. There's so much referral money in the moving business that if you ever raise your hand and say, I'm interested in getting a quote on moving, 55 companies contact you. It's crazy.
Exactly.
We have 2 more questions. One is insurance. How's the broker protected from a lawsuit?
As an insurance for the company. So a part of the agreement, you do have liability protections and all of those things. We ourselves are covered. We have insurance, both liability and cyber security insurances. But outside of that, there is language. That is where those agreements that we have with each brokerage. At the end of the day, there is no money exchanging hands from you to us. It's the other way around, right? But we very clearly outline what kind of liability protections you have. We in fact even have liability protection. So let's say tomorrow a customer uses a vendor, it is what it is. Like at the end of the day, you're going to have that service at some point of time. No one can guarantee in this space that, hey, you'll always have the perfect home services vendor that comes and helps you out. But that's where we have liability protection there, and we also have liability protection with you. So you're basically 2, I would say, there are 2 people standing in front of you before it even comes to you, and even that the agreement takes care of that.
And the final question is, when are you guys going to make this service available in Canada?
Wow, that's a good question. We are actually working on that. We have 2 clients in Canada that not in this space, in the moving space, but pretty soon, very, very soon.
Right on. Angus will just follow their website and their blog, and you'll know when they're available in Canada.
That's a big announcement at that time.
Yeah, excellent. Well,
they have a huge presence there, and then we are definitely working on something like that.
Well, listen, gentlemen, you did a wonderful job. It's been interesting learning about your company and the services you provide. I do believe that concierge service is a big difference maker that's available to brokerages today. And I know firsthand that those firms who pursued these programs, whether it's with you or competitors, have had a tremendous amount of success. And it's something that I hope to see every brokerage consider in the future. A customer for life strategy is absolutely vital for a brokerage to continue to succeed and thrive in this market. And I see you guys as a great partner. So thank you very much for being here on RE Technology today, and for participating in this RE Techinar. We'll run a replay of this on RE Technology, and we'll make it available on our YouTube channel if somebody would like to view it or share it with somebody else. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Stay safe. Wear a mask.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you for having us.
Okay.
Thanks, Victor. Thank you so much for having us.